Fountain of Youth looking for a championship season. The Broncos and Raiders next on TNT. Start of Sunday Night Football on TNT. As tonight from sold-out Mile High Stadium, two bitter rivals, the Los Angeles Raiders and the Denver Broncos, meet in the huge season opener. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender. Two old American Football League rivals have been playing since 1916. Frankly, they don't like each other very well. The Raiders have won the last 5, but those 5 games have been decided by a total of 15 points. This game could really set the tone for the season because in the last 4 years, 23 of the 24 division champions have won on opening day. And speaking of opening day, good to be here with Pat Hayden. And Pat, opening day is a special day for you.
Yeah, I love opening day. It's my favorite day in the whole season, including the Super Bowl, quite honest. I think players love it, fans love it, even broadcasters love it. I know coaches do as well. The hot dogs taste better. The national anthem sounds good. But if you're a player, this is a game you look forward to for 7 months because it's been a long, long winter. And remember, both these teams are coming off playoff losses, so they're looking to win this opening game.
Well, you know, the Broncos have been very successful on opening day. They have the best record in the AFC. Dan Reeves, though, is 7-4, and those 4 losses on opening day, he didn't make it to the playoffs. He's got a new slogan: jump on top, stay on top.
Well, I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it this year's schedule. It's the most difficult in the NFL. But Dan Reeves, you mentioned his opening day schedule, and this says one thing about Dan Reeves, that his teams are prepared. Because in no other game you can be surprised like the opening game of the NFL season, but he has not been surprised very often.
Well, when you have John Elway, you don't get surprised that often. He's the winningest quarterback in the NFL the last 8 years.
Isn't it hard to imagine that this is John Elway's 10th year as the Bronco quarterback? I still believe he has very unique talents. He is still the most dominating quarterback on 3rd and long, but what he is most concerned about tonight is he is missing his best 3rd down receivers, Steve Sewell and Vance Johnson. And so I think guys like their tight ends, Shannon Sharp, are going to have a big game in Gaston Green.
Well, Art Shell has never lost to the Broncos. He's 5-0. He's glad to be in the regular season. He says it's a real deal now.
He said the real bullets are flying now, and I think players look forward to the real deal as well and the real thing because there's a different tempo about regular season games. You see his success against the Broncos, and what he said yesterday is, we want to make this a close ball game. We're going to play conservatively on offense early in this ball game, and we hope to win in the fourth quarter. He's done that the last 5 times.
And Art Shell hopes that Eric Dickerson can return to his prime. He led the NFL in rushing 4 different times. This looks like a perfect Al Davis pick.
Yeah, I think Al Davis has done it again with Eric Dickerson. I think he's going to have a very productive year for the Raiders, quite honestly. Here's a guy that really won those 4 rushing titles, but hasn't played a full season the last 2. But remember, for the first time in his career, he doesn't have to carry the load. He's very relaxed. And the big thing about Eric Dickerson, he can still get to the hole, but can he blow by it? That's the question that's going to be answered tonight about Eric Dickerson, and we're going to get a chance to see it, Gary, because the Raiders are going to run Eric Dickerson.
Eric Dickerson has had so much success, and he's coming into just absolutely ideal weather conditions. 78 degrees. Really a cool day here in the Rocky Mountain area, and what an outstanding place to come for a football game. Mile High Stadium sold out once again, every home game this season, and the crowd here is something special. Eric Dickerson, will see him early as the Raiders want to establish their running game. On the other hand, the Broncos likewise, they want to get their running game going, get Gaston Green underway. And Art Shell, who's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, this guy, well, he'd like to be there someday if he could get his game going once again. He needs 300 yards to move up as far as the rushing is concerned and pass Tony Dorsett. Dickerson will be relieved by Nick Bell, who had a 71-yard touchdown run last week in the preseason against the Oilers. Art Shell, an all-pro offensive tackle. And Pat Hayden, can you imagine how he can identify with Russell Freeman of the Denver Broncos? Art told us last night it took him 3 years to learn to play that backside tackle. Here is Russell Freeman, a free agent, one start in the preseason. Here he is, number 68, trying to protect John Elway.
As you can see, Russell's really getting himself ready. But, yeah, I mean, I think that is the most difficult position in the offensive line to play is on the left side. Now, he's had a rather productive preseason, but he has not seen the speed off the corner that he's going to see tonight from Andre Bruce. He'll see it from Aaron Wallace. He'll see it from Winston Moss. He'll see it from a lot of guys. And from Howie Long, that man will be over him some tonight as well.
What is it they say, Pat? Everything just gets accelerated.
Yeah.
Everybody runs harder. They hit harder. Everything seems to be picked up a click or two.
Yeah, and that's the fun thing, I think, about the opening day of the season. As we said, there's something special about it. But for rookies, I think the biggest adjustment is the tempo of the game.
Well, Denver will be kicking off. John Elway will have to wait. That means that Brad DeLuiso, who they just signed this week, will be doing the honors for Dan Reeves. A very unusual start for the Broncos. A lot of people never figured Dan Reeves would carry two different kickers on his team, his 47-man roster. The Raiders leading the series. We mentioned they've won the last 5. 5 of those last 15 have gone into overtime. And the games last year, 17-16 and 16-13, won by the Raiders.
Well, you know, kickers have a disproportionate role, I think, in wins and losses in the AFC West because they play so many close ball games. And I do anticipate a fourth-quarter game tonight.
There's DeLuiso. He was cut by Dallas. He lost out in a battle to free agent Lynn Elliott out of Texas Tech. Last year, he had 26 touchbacks on his kickoffs, so he's in to boot it long. And on the other hand, David Treadwell will do the field goal kicking. Sam Grady going back deep, and he is joined by Dan Land, 25. A lot of orange here in the stands, and we're ready to go in this preseason or regular season, the start of 1992. Trying to get the ball into the end zone, and he did just that. Well, that's the first divot into the 92 season for Dan Reeves.
Yeah, maybe that's why you keep two kickers.
Jay Schrader, who's done very well in the past against Denver. He is 7-1 as a starter. He was a different quarterback in 1991 than he was in 1990. Here are his numbers of a year ago. That was the highest ratio, touchdown to interception ratio in the AFC.
And if the Raiders are going to get back to the championship game, they're going to have consistency out of the quarterback position. They did not get that a year ago.
From the 20. Smith to Dickerson to the backfield. It'll be Eric. And Eric gets 3 yards out to the 23-yard line, and Kenny Walker making the stop. Let's look now at this Raider offensive forward wall. Very good one. They have 3 All-Pros in Wisniewski, along with Mosbar and Montoya. Dickerson, Smith, Fernandez, and Galt. Galt's had an outstanding preseason for this team, catching 20 balls already. And they're facing the top defense of a year ago in the AFC, the Denver Broncos. They led in 12 different categories. We're having a little trouble with the clock right now. It did not start.
Well, it's still preseason for the clock man. He's got to get himself into the rhythm, too.
This is red.
Time will be kept on the field. The present time is 14:51.
Just returning to Jay Schrader. He can play. Jay Schrader can play at a high level, but he hasn't done it consistently enough. And what they want to do, Art Shell has said he wants to do with Jay Schrader tonight, is have the running game control early on, even if it's a couple of 3 and punts. Don't turn the ball over early to this Denver defense.
2nd and 7 now for the Raiders after the delay on the field. It'll be Dickerson again, and Dickerson fighting for that first down. He needs to get to the 30. He appears to be just short of that. It'll bring up 3rd and a yard. We talked about the top-ranked defense in the AFC. Let's look at them. Soche Cragen, very fine nose tackle. Mike Kroll last year, 10 sacks. He was the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. Mecklenburg seemingly has been around forever. Now, one of the big changes, Alton Montgomery going for the All-Pro Steve Atwater, who's out with a sprained ankle. We'll watch that very closely. 3rd and less than a yard. Dickerson on his third straight carry picks up the first down for the Raiders. He loves to get a lot of activity. And Pat, all your great running backs like to get the ball 20, 25 times a game.
Well, you're right, Gary. And watch you see the line splits there. Good yard line splits by the Raider offensive line. 3 straight carries, as you mentioned. And it's on the 18th to 25th carry that you really watch running backs like Eric Dickerson, because that's when the big runs come from the great backs.
Dickerson, the single running back on a first down. Schrader attempting his first pass. Wide open on the far side was Willie Gault, but the connection not made. Brings up second down. So Schrader, with the strong arm, had too much on that one. It'll bring up second down 10, and the Raiders in this series in the last 5 years, their quarterbacks have thrown only 1 interception. Elway has thrown 7, and that's a big story coming into this game.
Well, that is the difference. Archell said yesterday we can't turn the ball over. We've won this game on turnovers, a couple of interceptions, and a fumble recovery for a return in the last game they played, as well as a couple of block kicks. The Raiders here are going into a no-huddle situation, which they've used some in the past. Although the Broncos not necessarily a big substitution team, so it's not necessarily a great advantage.
The delay was to indicate that the game clock is now operable. They have gone back to the clock on the side of the stadium and will not keep the time on the field. We'll be able to know what's going on here.
I feel a lot better.
All right. Second down now coming up for the Raiders. Brown's put out. It's Dickerson, and Dickerson for 5, 6, 7 yards as he's out to the 37. Kenny Walker making the tackle.
Eric Dickerson and great runners all have a feel for how plays block. It's the rhythm of running. Just like passers get into a rhythm, offensive linemen get into a rhythm. You know where your blockers are going to be, but how does the defense react? And that's why Eric Dickerson is such a great third and fourth quarter running back, has been in his career, because it takes a while for all those guys to get into that rhythm.
Third down and 4. Is in motion. Schrader on 3rd and 4. Complete. The catch is made by Tim Brown, who's their big third down receiver. A 22-yard gain to the 41-yard line of Denver.
You know, it's kind of surprising because the Denver defensive back said yesterday on 3rd and 3 to 4. You're going to see number 81 right in the middle of the screen. 3rd and 3 to 4, Tim Brown is featured. Just a simple zone defense. It started with protection now. But what you like about Tim Brown as a quarterback there, he didn't drift off into Never Never Land. Came right down the line and cut off the ball.
And Schrader now without a huddle, setting the play at the 41.5-yard line. Dickerson, this is his 5th carry, and he takes it inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Dickerson was so good. People were questioning whether he'd lost his zest for the game, if his legs were still there. What did Archell say? We haven't seen him explode yet.
Right. But if he still gets to the hole, that's the issue. But again, I think he doesn't have to carry the load. Then they've got Marcus Allen, they've got Nick Bell. He's got a very designed part of the game that he is supposed to play.
2nd and 5. Dickerson with his 6th carry, this time in trouble. Good effort by Mike Kroll, who was there first. The outstanding second-year player from Nebraska who read it well, and that's the first time they got negative yardage running right at this Denver defense.
You know, the Raiders are running this kind of unbalanced line type of situation with an extra tackle in the ball game over there on the right side. But this time they come away from that back to the left. But it's Craig, number 77, who really started first. And Mecklenburg, number 77, who really feeds off his teammates. Individually, he may not be a great player, but knows how to play off players, his teammates, and always seems to take the right angle. And when you take the right angle, you get to the ball carrier quickly.
Lots of 1 on the 3rd down now, and 6 are 2 of 2 on this series, and Schrader wants a timeout. So the Raiders will take time to discuss this one. No score from Mile High Stadium. 10-18 to go in this first quarter. The Raiders have been moving the football. visiting with Jay Schrader. One thing they want Schrader to do is show patience this year in running the team.
Yeah, they feel the defense is so good, they don't want to have him throw the ball into coverage like he did a year ago early in the season. He's got a big arm, and he believes in his arm so much, but they're trying to get him away from trying to do it all himself. When Jay Schrader has been successful, Gary, he has thrown the ball on running downs.
Well, he's got a running attack, evidently, that he can complement as they come to a 3rd down and 6. Schrader with time. A flag on the play. Intended for Galt. Overthrown, but there was a flag thrown as they were backing those linemen into the face of Schrader at the last moment. It's going to be a holding call, and he is pointing towards Denver.
That should be an automatic first.
Good protection on that play.
Yeah.
Schrader had the time. That line is something up the middle. 3 all-pro players.
Illegal use of the hands on the face mask. Number 99 on the defense, 5 yards, first down.
That's Shane Dronette, the rookie from Texas, the 2nd-round draft pick, number 99, guilty of that. So that gives him the automatic first down to the 34 of Denver. There's Dronette. They say he's always getting his hands up, batting the ball down. Well, this time he got his hands in the wrong place. Dickerson remains in the backfield. Drive taking a lot of time. 10-11 left in the first quarter. Schrader has it stripped. The ball is loose. Denver's picked it up. Running with the football is Michael Brooks, and Brooks is going to take it in for the touchdown. It was Mecklenburg, I think, that stripped it, and Brooks who picked it up.
Just what Art Shell was talking about yesterday. We can't afford the turnovers early. But this was not Jay Schrader's fault. A lot of people around. Now, Mecklenburg, sometimes you can't make the sack. But when you're close, you make a play. You make the guy fumble the ball, and that's just what they did there. And Michael Brooks had the speed to take it in.
54 yards. We mentioned the last 5 games, it's been the Broncos turning the ball over. But this time, the turnover gives them 6 as Treadwell adds the point after. 7-0 Denver. 10 minutes left in this first quarter. And Mecklenburg, who is so cagey, who, as you mentioned, plays so well off of his teammates, helped a teammate here in Michael Brooks. And Brooks goes 54 yards.
Mr. Candidate, what will you do about
Fumble recovery of his career, but the first for a touchdown of 54 yards has given the Broncos a 7-0 lead. Eloiso will kick off. Grady and Land back deep. This is Sam Grady. And so it wasn't quite as impressive as the first time when he kicked it out of the back of the end zone, but it still gets the touchback.
You know, Gary, we talked about how Mecklenburg really feeds off other people. This time it's Greg Cragen. He is going to take a rush in here. Both linemen go this way, and then Mecklenburg has a clean shot there through to get to the quarterback. See how Cragen creates the lane? And then he runs right over Eric Dickerson. And what does that tell you? If the Raiders, you're going to have to change your blocking scheme if you have Dickerson blocking Mecklenburg.
That's where Steve Smith is so good, when they leave him in the backfield to block. From the 20 now, the Raiders trailing 7-0. We just mentioned Smith, and that is Smith, as he brings it out to the 23, a gain of 3 yards.
They feature the fullback. They throw him a bone once in a while, give him a carry once every lunar eclipse.
Keep him interested, right?
Absolutely.
But this head of the game.
Yeah, this guy is a dominating blocker, Steve Smith. And you're right, when in the passing game, if you need protection, you keep Steve Smith in. Maybe you keep a tight end in to give Schrader the time to find the wide receivers.
That is the first ball carrier other than Dickerson in this game. He had all the work prior to that one. On a second down, a helmet has come off. And the ball was overthrown, intended for Ethan Horton, the tight end. So Shea lost his helmet really early on that play as he was trying to fight his way to the near sideline. So Shea, the former Miami Dolphin.
That's what happens on opening day against a division rival like the Raiders. I mean, you're going to lose helmets and chin straps, and you're going to get your face mask held, and you're going to get clipped and all that kind of stuff.
All of that happened to you in one Sunday, right?
It did. That's why I'm here.
3rd down and 7.
Big play here for Jay Schrader. You get back in rhythm against a defense that is psyched up right now.
Playing on the road and trailing. Stepping up. He's going to have to get out of there. He's flushed out, slides, and he's got the first down. Jay Schrader, who's a big guy. You forget he's 6'4", weighs 215 pounds. Did a very good job picking up 8 yards on the play.
Now, the thing about this offensive line for the Raiders, watch how many the gaps in there. See how many gaps there are? And they're going to give him plenty of passing lanes and time to throw the ball. He had a passing lane to his left. He ducked to his right. Now watch him look. You see him look to his right? He saw where the first down marker was before he went down.
You also saw Montgomery coming up, and he will hit you. Out Montgomery playing in place of the All-Pro Steve Atwater. First down from the 31. Schrader to Ethan Horton, and the tight end's got it at the 40-yard line of Denver. Dennis Smith was over there, but a 27-yard completion, and Horton coming off of a Pro Bowl year.
Well, he should have a big game in the Raider tonight and for the Raiders, as you see him come off the line here. But you got to hold him up. If you let a tight end like Horton release like that without jamming at the line of scrimmage, he has too much opportunity to get open over the middle. But with the wide receivers they have, Gary, with the speed outside, Ethan Horton ought to catch a lot of balls in the middle of the field.
A former running back, which has been a way the Raiders have gone so many times, moving a running back to tight end. From the 40, first down, this is Smith, and Smith maybe a yard. Mecklenburg was in there first. When you look at this Denver defense, they led in 12 different categories. They had 52 sacks, 23 interceptions. A lot of people feel this is as good as that Orange Crush defense that they had in 1977.
Well, you know, they have a good combination. There's Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator. Good combination of some younger players and some older veterans as well. They've got pass rushers. They're not terribly big, and they play not only the AFC West rivals this year, but the NFC East, and they'll be tested on the ground game. But perhaps the best pair of safeties when he's healthy, Steve Atwater and Dennis Smith, who's playing tonight.
Wade Phillips, who, of course, his dad is Bum Phillips. Another ball is on the field as Schrader throws behind goal. I've never seen that, Pat. Another ball came onto the field at the 45-yard line about the time the ball was snapped.
One of the ball boys over there was kind of fooling around and lost control.
That's in case he didn't like the other one. He could run over and get that one, right?
You get your pick.
Maybe that was Jeff Gossett getting ready to punt.
There he is.
Anyway, 3rd down and 10 now coming up for the Raiders.
Well, 2 times, though, tonight, Willie Gault has been open on long passes. He was open inside there for the touchdown.
You think John Elway's not wondering if he ever going to get out there?
He doesn't mind. He's leading 7-0.
That's true. Schrader on the 3rd and 10. Being placed through by Cole, and it's intercepted. It's picked up. That is Lilo Lang, and Lang takes it to the 35-yard line.
If you're Jay Schrader, you're thinking this is exactly what the coaches have talked about all week long. Don't get off to the bad start. Don't throw the bad pass. That was thrown off his back foot. And regardless of how strong your arm is in this league, you got to give the defensive players some credit because they're pretty good as well. And Lilo Lang read it, drove on it, and made a play.
Well, what you have to remember is Kroll was scrambling at his feet that made Schrader throw off that back foot. First down inside the 35, and Elway finally gets a chance. Robert Perryman in motion. Elway being chased. Dumps it low to Gaston Green. Incomplete. And Elway rolled up back at the 50-yard line. But John Elway, the winningest coach in the NFL the last 8 years. 84 victories if you count the postseason games. As Dan Reeves put it, he never ceases to amaze me.
Well, you know, I think the real characteristic about John Elway is his strength at the end of a play. I mean, I think when things start breaking down at the end of a play, what he can do at the last couple of seconds is different than any other quarterback in the league.
2nd and 10. Mark Jackson is in motion. Elway's got the time and overshoots Jackson, crossing over the middle at the 30-yard line. Some of that adrenaline possibly flowing. Eddie Anderson defending on the play. Set the rest now of that offensive lineup. As we mentioned, it's a reshuffle lineup. Freeman, the free agent rookie. Davidson was a starter at tackle. Wydell is going in place of Keith Karts, who's out with a calf injury. Lanier, he just plays on and on. Green, Perryman, Derek Russell is going to have to step forward now with all the injuries to their wide receivers. And Mark Jackson, he is the veteran outside. 3rd and 10 now for Denver. From the shotgun, Arthur Marshall, I should say, in motion. Elway is sacked from behind by Anthony Smith. The ball came loose in there. And let's see, who has it? They're indicating that Denver has maintained the football as they unpile, as Elway took a real shot from the backside.
Well, John Elway is going to have to be concerned about his backside all night. Jeff Davidson, although in his 3rd year, is anew at left guard. The left tackle we've talked about, Russell Freeman, number 68, just gets beaten very, very quickly. Now, he should have gotten some more help there from Reggie Rivers, quite honestly, the back, number 38. Reggie Rivers has got to give him some help. He doesn't. As a matter of fact, he pushes Freeman off.
That's where they miss Steve Sewell.
Yeah.
Sewell was excellent at picking up those guys. Reggie Rivers did not see him. Here's Mike Horan, a line drive kick, aiming for the corner, but he didn't get it. Horan had one block last week, and that one looked a little shaky. He got it 42 yards, but a little herky-jerky. You can see he's talking about it. Looks like your golf swing, the way he was showing it there.
Jerky, yeah.
7-0, Denver. Those who lead on a 54-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown by Michael Brooks. From the 20-yard line, Schrader. He's had 16 snaps. He's suffered 1 interception. He gives to Dickerson. Dickerson staying on his feet. Good second effort. Brings it up for a 9-yard pickup to the 29.
The thing about the Raiders' formations thus far, though, every time they've been in the I formation, Eric Dickerson has carried the ball.
Not a lot of deception back there.
No, there isn't. And that's part of the Raiders thing. You know, the Raiders have been contrarians really for 20 years. In the era of no huddles and run and shoots, they believe in running the football. You throw it deep 4 or 5 times a game, and you get after them on defense.
Look at the difference here in Schrader from 90 to 91. Patience has been the big difference.
Absolutely. And a running game. Had a very good running game in 90.
Steve Smith going for the first down on a 2nd and a yard. Got it out to the 32.
Now, this Denver Bronco team is really been injured early in this season, in the preseason. Look at all the guys who are not playing. Steve Atwater, the most noteworthy, quite honestly, because he is such a big part of their defense.
They miss Vance Johnson because he's a good punt return guy.
Yeah, and a 3rd down receiver. And,
yep.
and we talked about Steve Sewell. They miss his blocking and receptions on 3rd down.
Talked to Michael Young before the game. He had back surgery. He's hoping to come back. Maybe what? Did he tell us? 1st of November, somewhere in there? Inside 5 minutes left in the first quarter. First down for the Raiders. Eric Dickerson's got the hole, and Dennis Smith wraps him up at the 40-yard line. That's one of those tackles you better make it, because Dickerson, being a great cutback runner, had bigger and better ideas of going further.
Well, the Denver Broncos safeties, quite honestly, Dennis Smith, are like linebackers. And between the two teams, you're going to see the best tacklers at safety in the NFL. And really, that's a real win there for Dennis Smith. You would think that Eric Dickerson might just blow right by him on the outside, and that's one of the questions that Art Shell wanted answered tonight.
2nd down and 2. Ethan Horton in motion. Dickerson again, and Dickerson has the first down, just short of the 45-yard line. Dennis Smith there again.
The thing about Eric Dickerson, too, is we've talked about how he gets stronger, and most of his yards have come in the 3rd and 4th quarter. you know, during his Ram years, quite honestly, he had created a lot of soft tackles. But what you're seeing in this attack tonight, running from, because he didn't get hit very hard, but when you're running from tackle to tackle, as he is tonight, with the Raiders, you're going to take a lot more hits and a lot more punishment.
Max Montoya, the 36-year-old veteran at right guard, threw a good block on the last play. First down. Dickerson again. This time, good reaction by that Denver defense, in particular Brooks, who's already had the big fumble recovery for a touchdown. Brooks has led them in tackles the last 2 years. Denver linebackers as a group are really exceptional.
They really are. But Gary, look at the gaps here. See the big line splits? What they want is this guy, Mosbar and Cragen, on an island, and then create these running lanes right here for Eric Dickerson. That time, Michael Brooks just did not stay blocked.
Boy, Mosbar, so tall, those long arms.
Unusually tall for a center.
Second down, 10. Smith across the 50. He's got the first down as he lunges to the 45. Carl Mecklenburg made the stop. He's getting quite a bit of activity.
Yeah, he is. And, you know, this is just the kind of drive that a Jay Schrader needs right now. And you come back, you have a fumble, you have an interception, your team is down by 7 points, you're playing in a hostile environment on opening night. You need to have something methodical to get you back in rhythm. And offensive linemen get in rhythm by running the football.
Are you ready for this? Denver's defense has been on the field all but 33 seconds of this quarter, and we have 2:11 left in it. But they're still leading. Schrader again. This is Fernandez, Mervin Fernandez. All these receivers are so good after they catch the ball to get additional yardage. That's an 18-yard gain by Fernandez. Brooks made the tackle.
The thing about Mervin Fernandez is that he can run all sorts of different kind of routes. Some guys run out routes, some guys run inside, but Mervin Fernandez can give you a lot of different kind of routes. This one's just a little simple out. Well thrown that time by Schrader. Coming back to the ball, which Raider receivers have been doing for 20 years. And then he picks up another 6-8 yards. And that's one of the things you measure with these Raider receivers, how many yards after the catch.
Schrader 3 of 7, 68 yards to 1 interception. Dickerson, a flag on the play. Looked like some movement. He fumbles the ball, and Denver still trying to cover it. They've got it at the 20-yard line. Alton Montgomery picks it up. Montgomery gets a block on Schrader, and down there trying to make the tackle is Galt. A big block thrown by Tyrone Braxton, and to the 15-yard line goes Montgomery. Now, what's the flag all about?
I want to tell you, though, Jay Schrader did a great job of saving a touchdown. No matter what happens with the flag, Jay Schrader deserves some credit. He got blocked 2 or 3 different times, but still made the play.
Boy, that's got to be an awful feeling, though, after you throw an interception or a fumble or anything.
Illegal motion. Left guard. Left penalty is declined.
So it's going to stand. 66 yards is what that return is to the 15-yard line. And so, even though Denver has not had their offense on the field, their defense has done the job. 3 possessions now by the Raiders, 3 turnovers.
Yeah, and again, that is the difference in NFL games. And you can talk about throwing the ball and you can everything else, but it's turnovers that's always the determining factor. I think a bunch of guys stopped and slowed down here. Now, in the old days, when they had replay, they'd look at that and see if he was down by contact.
Absolutely, but again, there's no instant replay in 1992. Green and Perriman in the backfield. 7-0 Denver. 1:01 to go in the first quarter. Gaston Green, maybe a yard. Denver did not establish their, now we've got a fight breaking out. Denver did not establish their running game in the preseason, but one of the reasons they felt is they didn't use Gaston Green that much.
Well, you know, Gary, you really have to be patient with Gaston Green because you're going to get a lot of see what's happened the last 5 games among these teams, the turnovers.
Complete reversal, isn't it?
Absolutely. We're just getting back to Gaston Green. Be patient with him. He's going to give you 0, 0, 1, 2, and then he's going to give you 40.
Maybe 80.
Absolutely.
Second down, 9, and Perriman and Green in the backfield. He has Jackson in motion. Give to Gaston Green. Green and maybe a yard again, maybe 2, and shove back. Crowd not liking how they handled him, but That's Raider football. They're rough and tumble.
You see Eddie Anderson, number 33. He's up there. Ricky Ellison, number 50, the middle linebacker.
And Russell Freeman saying they didn't do this at Georgia Tech last year.
They'll do it here a lot with the Raiders.
We've come to the end of the first quarter. Denver deep in the Raider territory and leading this game 7-0. Bob Neal and his partners down there. Let's go to Bob right now.
Thank you, Gary Bender. You see the set of our stadium show, the Fruit of the Loom Stadium Show at halftime, will feature highlights from some incredible games that took place in the NFL today. Ernie Johnson has that, including some very emotional information out of late Jerome Brown and the story on that Saints and Philadelphia game, plus the unusual perspective on this first half and the Raider turnovers from Kevin Kiley and Kenny Stabler. Back to you.
Okay, Bob, thank you. On a 3rd and 8, Elway scrambling around. He does this so well. Get some help. Look out. He's going to take a tremendous shot from Anthony Smith. The ball comes loose, and at the 11-yard line. They're uncovering it, and it's the Raiders football. What a shot Elway took from 94.
And that's the second shot he has taken from Anthony Smith, and the second time John Elway has fumbled. I mean, we talked about him being the most dangerous player in the NFL on 3rd and long, because what he likes to do is, you know, is maybe a sophisticated NFL game, but on 3rd and long for John Elway, it is sandlot football. And this is what he likes. This is what makes him unusual, because here he can throw the ball across the field, which I think he was going to try to do, and never even felt Anthony Smith.
Great effort by Smith. He chased him almost the whole width of the field. Derek Russell was looking for the pass, but Elway was running for his life. We'll be back. The Raiders have the football. Smith filling from that safety position up to make the stop after a 1-yard gain. You know, you go back to Anthony Smith. He led them in sacks in the preseason, but they need that kind of pressure, that kind of heat from up the middle until they get Chester McLaughlin back, the rookie they're so excited about.
Yeah, the #1 draft pick, 320 pounds a man. They
are so excited about him. Out with a foot injury. And Smith, who was out his entire rookie year with an injury, having a good year. 2nd down, virtually 10. Schrader dumps it off, intended for Smith, and Dronette, Shane Dronette, the rookie from Texas, got a hand on it.
Well, you know, it's funny. The coaches were saying every day in practice and every preseason game, Shane Dronette has tipped the ball.
Yep.
You know, some guys just have that knack of being able to get the hands up at the right moment, and Shane Dronette is one of those guys, number 99. I mean, he did it in college at Texas. He did it in the preseason. He's done it every day in practice. And it seems simple, but when you got a big old body blocking you and things are happening around you, people chopping at your knees, it's tough to get that hand up there in time to knock.
Nice when you're 6'6". That helps a little bit.
I wouldn't know.
3rd down, 10 yards to go. Crowd really noisy right now. Schrader's going to ask for a timeout. That's his 2nd timeout. So with 14:02 to go in this first half, the Raiders on a 3rd and 10 have 1 timeout remaining. The Broncos leading it 7-0. Timeout. The Broncos leading at 7-0. It's time for tonight's GMC Truck Leaderboard. Coming into this game, the Broncos and Raiders with the best opening day records in the AFC. So if the Raiders would win, they would become #1.
Makes sense to me.
That does to me, too.
Take off your shoes and socks to figure out the math on that. That's good. Gary?
I stick around you. I'm going to have it all figured out. Who do you think's leading the football game?
Yeah, it's incredible. Broncos up by 7 points. But here the Broncos find themselves in 3rd and 10. And generally, these football games, most NFL games, turn on 5 or 6 plays. This could very well be one of them. And this is where Jay Schrader needs some time, needs some protection.
They have Todd Pete now in at left offensive guard. In motion, Schrader rolling to the end zone. Buying some time. There's a flag. He throws it complete to Fernandez out to the 38-yard line, but the penalty flag back at the 5. 26-yard completion if it stands. Boy, Schrader just got away from all the heat, went outside the pocket. It's going to go against the Raiders. Archell said we have to fight through the emotion early in this game, the tide of the fans.
Holding number 29 on the offense. half the distance to the goal, still third down.
You know, Eric Dickerson's got 2 mismatches already. You saw Carl Mecklenburg run through him earlier. This time it's number 73, Simon Fletcher. And they call... Oh, I guess they called him for a tackle. They called Eric Dickerson for a tackle on Fletcher because the initial block was pretty good.
A roll-up block. It's going to be very loud now as they're deep in the end zone. Coming out of that hole on a 3rd and 16. Schrader will give it to Dickerson, and Dickerson wrapped up very effectively by Mike Kroll. A lot of people feel that Kroll, along with Cortez Kennedy of Seattle, are going to be the 2 next most dominant defensive players in the league.
That is a great change of pace by Mike Kroll, because Mike Kroll is a pass rusher, but he was able to stop there, change directions on the draw, and make the play on Dickerson.
Well, what's it they said? He's faster than some of our cornerbacks. The Denver staff was telling us. So now, Gossett will go deep. He made his first Pro Bowl last year. Arthur Marshall, the rookie out of Georgia, back to receive it. Low snap from Dan Turk. Very fine punt. Arthur Marshall at the 40. The first wave doesn't get him, but the second does.
I love all the dancing. He didn't fake anybody out.
That was a pressure-packed punt, 53-yarder by Gossett. He got it out of there well. It was a 7-yard return. Arthur Marshall said that worked in the SEC. It's not working here in the NFL. 7-0, the Broncos leading the Raiders. And here is tonight's U.S. Marine Corps scoreboard as we look at the opening day. The Colts, first time they won an opening day game in Indianapolis. The Bears, last-second catch by Waddle. The Bills look like they want to repeat as AFC champs for the 3rd time. First down 10. We'll check the rest of the scoreboard when we get a chance. Shannon Sharp in motion. Gaston Green. The quickness to the outside, but a good open field tackle that time by Lionel Washington, coming up from that right cornerback spot.
Yeah, Lionel Washington is a corner that can play bump and run and cover you downfield, but he's also quick enough and a good enough tackler to make plays like that on Gaston Green.
This was a really big win for rookie Bill Cowher.
That's a surprise.
Yeah.
Big surprise.
And, of course, Dave Shula, 2 youngest coaches in the NFL, won today. Chiefs winning in San Diego. 2nd down and 7. And Sharp in motion again. Elway double pumping to Derek Russell, and Russell has a first down catch to the 35. 16-yard gain, and Russell, who started very shaky last year, didn't have any catches in the first 5 games, now having to be a big part of this Bronco offense. By the way, we understand that Tim Rosenbaugh, who was helped off the field, had negative x-rays on his back. He's staying in the hospital, has a bad headache. Hopefully he'll be able to play next week when we bring you the Eagles-Cardinals game from Phoenix. That's the initial first down of the game for the Broncos. From the 35, Green again. Quick feet, takes it to the 32. And now another fight.
You know, generally, the Raiders we've had more fights than first downs for Denver, right?
I went
3
up
fights and 1 first down.
I went up to Flagstaff this year to watch the Raiders and Cardinals scrimmage, and I ended up seeing a fight.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. But it's part of that ambiance. That time was Ronnie Lott and Clarence Cape, part of the ambiance, if you will, of the Raiders. If the Raiders have such a thing called ambiance, but I guess it's the wrong word to use for the Raiders. But they're going to let you know that they want to be in charge.
2nd down, 7 for Elway. Rushed out, being chased, got rid of it. He had Aaron Wallace coming up his backside. He tried to get it off to Clarence Kay. Aaron Wallace, very good speed. There is a flag, by the way, on the far side of the field at the 31. Elway, they want to keep him out of some of those lanes, but it's so hard. He just buys more time.
Well, you know, there's lots of scramblers around in the league. Not lots, but some great ones.
Illegal man downfield.
Yeah. There's been some great ones over the years, but what makes him different, I think, is we talked about the strength at the end of the play and the velocity that he can throw the ball with across the field and, you know, across his body. I mean, some guys perhaps run better, but when he is scrambling, he is looking for somebody downfield, and he's looking deep.
Illegal forward pass, number 7 of the offense. The pass was thrown beyond the line of scrimmage. It'll be 5 yards from where it was thrown. Loss of down, 3rd down.
So not only do you lose the yardage, you lose the down.
But again, 3rd and long, I think this is where John Elway wants to turn it into a sandlot game.
On a 3rd and 11 now. Reggie Rivers comes in to protect him back there in the shotgun. Elway doesn't get a protection, but he stays on his feet, going deep in the end zone. Derek Russell, the intended receiver. McDaniel defending, and Russell just went up to Colorado Springs and disappeared in that runway.
That's a heck of a play by John Elway, though. I mean, he has got some heat on him tonight. Andre Bruce, Howie Long, number 75, gets a piece of him. Going to get another shot there by Moss. Again, McDaniel has good closing speed. And once you get the head turned, and even though you make contact with the receiver, it's called incidental contact and not pass interference.
Elway is taking quite a pounding now. We're going to have Deli Russo come in and attempt a 54-yard field goal. The man they just signed this week. Miranda hold, and it's blocked. DeLuiso, who they just signed, kicking the long field goal because Treadwell does not have the strong leg out that far, and they end up blocking it.
Remember in the last game, they blocked 2 kicks of the Denver Broncos? I think it was Scott Davis who blocked 2 kicks of Denver to win the game for the Raiders.
17-16. So the ball didn't really look like it got up at all. Let's look at it as the new field goal kicker in his first effort as a Denver Bronco.
I think it was Andrew Glover, number 87.
Also, Howie Long was up there, but I think it was Glover. 7-0 Denver. Dan Reeves and John Elway talking things over. You know, they have to wonder, is Freeman hurting him that much at that backside tackle?
I think every time John Elway's had a pass tonight, quite honestly, he has not had much time. He must get some production out of Gaston Green.
Schrader, his team trailing 7-0, going up top to Willie Gault. He's got it. Gault able to reach over Wyman Henderson and make that catch. 54-yard completion. Now they're going to mark him just short of the 10-yard line. That's where he rolled up before they made contact. We have a Bronco shaken up at the other end of the field. It's Mecklenburg down at the 25.
Give Jay Schrader some credit, though. Threw the interception, got off to a terrible start, but hangs in there, comes right back. A perfectly thrown ball inside. It allows the receiver, Willie Gault, to be able to make the adjustment and some separation between him and Henderson. Henderson has him well covered, but when you throw the ball inside, the receiver can see the ball, makes the adjustment, and separates himself from the defensive back.
Gault really didn't advertise that ball was coming either. Kept those hands down. This is Mecklenburg, we mentioned, and the guy who's been to the Pro Bowl 5 times, getting up. Hopefully he is not seriously hurt. Schrader, by the way, now has averaged over 30 yards per completion, but he's had only 4 completions.
Yeah, well, they're not. The Raiders are not as concerned about the completion percentage. They are concerned about interceptions. But the Raiders are going to take 3 or 4 more long shots in this ball game.
So Mecklenburg up and walking, and that's good to see. Line of scrimmage just outside the 10.
Yeah, Carl Mecklenburg is one of the great hands players in the game. I mean, he uses his hands as a defender to keep people away from him, as well as any linebacker in the league.
What did they say when that ball gets snapped? He just gets faster.
Yeah.
Well, they could get a first down here without scoring a touchdown. They're just outside the 10-yard line. Schrader with that long strike to Gault. 54-yarder.
And quarterbacking is about confidence, and right now that is exactly what Jay Schrader needed.
New running backs, Bell and Derek Gainer. And it's Derek Gaynor, who was cut this week and then re-signed, and they then released Vince Evans, the third quarterback, and he takes it close to the 6-yard line. Terry Robeski, he's going to signal, wig-wag the plays in.
When you think about Art Shell as a head coach with the Raiders, I think offensive linemen have to be good communicators, and good communicators make good head coaches, and that's what Art Shell is. Madden was before him with the Raiders, a great communicator, and so is Art Shell.
And Madden was one of his strongest supporters. 2nd down and 4. Tim Brown in motion. Again, straight ahead, close to the goal line. Ethan Horton signaling touchdown, but they're going to be short of that.
Here is where the Raiders have a distinct advantage. They're 20 pounds approximately heavier per man in the offensive line than the Denver defensive line.
They're going to measure to see if they got a 1st and goal. If not, it'll be a 3rd down coming up.
See, with the way defenses are played inside the 15-yard line in the NFL today, Gary, I think you really have to be able to run the ball inside the 10, because people used to play man for man inside the 10. You ran all those pick plays and crossing routes for touchdowns, but everybody's playing zone down here, so you must be able to run the ball.
Well, did they get the 1st and goal? They did.
He got it by a postage stamp.
1st and goal now for the Raiders, trying to get on the scoreboard.
And again, that was a big hole there for Derek Gaynor. The splits of the Raider offensive linemen help that, and then the way they stay on their blocks and finish their blocks is the difference.
They got Bell at 250 pounds at one of the running backs. Gaynor at 240. It's going to be Bell this time. Nick Bell fighting into the goal line and into the end zone for the touchdown. Bell is so huge, those legs, so tough to stop on a goal line situation.
Well, Nick Bell, all 250 pounds of him, when he gets some momentum, it's like he's running downhill. And that's just what happened there. I mean, he just doesn't stop, keeps those legs, keep it churning, keeps people away from his legs, and scores.
Do they have depth? Dickerson, Bell, and we haven't even seen Marcus Allen.
And here's a guy who's been really underutilized by the Raiders for a couple of years.
Jeff Jaeger now to attempt the point after to tie it up. And he does that. So it's 7 even. 8:03 left to go in this first half. So the Raiders have fought through some difficulty to tie this game up. And their 2nd round draft pick of a year ago from Iowa, Nick Bell, scored the touchdown.
Real mashed potatoes, fresh black-eyed peas, and homemade breads. Ferguson's Cafe has been a Memphis tradition for over 50 years. A friendly atmosphere and good home cooking keep folks coming back for more. And more is just what you'll get at the new Ferguson's Cafe in Trinity Commons, featuring the all-you-can-eat buffet for lunch and dinner, Southern Fried Catfish Special, all-you-can-eat Friday and Saturday night. Don't forget country ham and homemade biscuits for breakfast every morning at 7. Visit the new Ferguson's Cafe at 714 Germantown Parkway or the original Ferguson's on Summer.
From the author to
Forrest has got a perfect name for that movie, doesn't he? You got a great voiceover, voice for voiceovers. That's
Habitation
good.
of Dragons. I know a few homes that have habitations of dragons. Jaeger kicking off. It'll be Marshall, the rookie. And he brings it out to the 14-yard line. Got very good height on that kickoff. Had to wait a long time. So Denver offensively has really done nothing. They absolutely have done nothing. They have 9 yards rushing. Look at that. 3 passing.
Well, again, I think they've been, John Elway's been scrambling around every time he's trying to throw in the ball. They're going to have to give Russell Freeman, the left tackle, some help. And I think the line is going to have to find a way to give Gaston Green a little bit of space. Because when he gets some space and air, Gaston Green can go a long way.
Well, they can chip block for him. They can send that H-back, maybe wham block, as you talk about it.
Yeah.
Green and Perriman in the backfield. Play action fake by Elway. Beautiful fake. Deep to Mark Jackson. Broken up. Excellent defensive effort that time by Terry McDaniel. Boy, was that well faked.
Yeah.
Elway really froze the defense with that one, but this guy, McDaniel, was not fooled.
Well, you're not. When you're a corner in the Raiders and you play bump and run, you're not really concerned about play action fakes. It may fool safeties and give the quarterback a little bit more time, and it was a good fake. But when a corner has makeup speed like Terry McDaniel does and can make a play and get his head turned and drive on the ball like that, he sees it all the way. He is just baiting the ball and really had a chance to pick it off.
And he really had some closing speed. Here's a pass complete to Gaston Green. Green will be knocked out of bounds, about a yard pickup on the play.
But that's what the Broncos, I think, need to do, is get that man, Gaston Green, out there in some air. He's not good necessarily. He's not going to necessarily break a lot of tackles for you, but if you get him in some space, he can make a lot of things happen.
3rd and 9 now for Elway. Elway is 1 of 5 passing, and he's been sacked twice, hit very hard by Anthony Smith on both occasions. 3rd and 9, 7.5 minutes to go in this first half of play. It's tied at 7. Elway, a little pressure coming, and right through the arms of Mark Jackson. There is a flag at the line of scrimmage. Jackson trying to come back to the football. Ronnie Lott, who will rough you up a little bit, was on top of him. But there's a flag away from where they were.
It's going to be on the Raiders. Should be the automatic first.
They had a 3rd and 9. That could be a big break for this Denver team and get them started.
You know, a year ago, Denver went 12-4, and when they were one of the few teams in the NFL, Gary, to have more rushes than passes, and they really have not had that production at all tonight with their runs.
We understand that Carl Mecklenburg, we saw him walk off the field a while ago. He is able to return to the game, and that's good news. Hyperextended left knee was the diagnosis on number 77. Well, they're still discussing it. It's the first regular season game for the officials, as Red Cashin, who was the official for the Raiders' last preseason game last week against the Oilers.
Boy, this 3rd down again. This is exactly what John Elway yesterday was saying. Gosh, I miss Steve Sewell as a receiver, as a blocker on 3rd downs.
There is no foul on the play. 3rd down.
Wow, that brings up 4th down. And look at Dan Reeves. He is not very happy about that. He's saying, what? Are you kidding me? And he's going to have it explained by the field judge, but I don't think any explanation will make him feel better. 4th down. Haram to punt from the goal line. This is Tim Brown. Pro Bowl return specialist. Beautiful punt. At the 40 is Brown. First man misses him. He gets to the far side and takes it to the 50-yard line. Tim Brown is exciting. A 9-yard return. Haran with a punt of 45 yards.
Elvis Patterson for the Raiders is a great special team player. Watch your number 43 right here at the top of the screen. This is a guy. He didn't make a play here, but he always makes his presence known. He's going to rough you up. He's going to talk to you a little bit. You know, he's the guy who's saying this week, I will make the play.
Yep.
I will make the play, he said.
He thinks he's a ghost.
Yeah.
Didn't he say they don't see me out there? You know, I can slip through and make these tackles because I'm a ghost.
You know, he is a great special teams player, and he will win at least one game this year for the Raiders by himself on special teams.
This is the best starting position field-wise for the Raiders tonight. They started just short of the 50. Smith and Bell in the backfield. And Bell at 250 pounds and still going. He takes it inside the 35 to the 33, and there's a flag.
Wow.
18-yard run by this Iowa product. He gets those shoulders turned up the field. He is something to get in the way of. It's going to be holding against the Raiders. And Shell doesn't like that, as Art Shell, who was such an outstanding offensive lineman in his own right.
Holding during the run. Number 88 of the offense, 10 yards, still first down.
Well, it wasn't an interior lineman. He won't be as upset. It'll be Ethan Horton. I thought maybe he was one of those tackles or guards, and he was going to get on their case pretty good.
Remember when Art Shell played left tackle, how the Raiders were one of the few left-handed teams in football. They got a big run on the left side that time. It was a terrific block by Steve Smith, the lead back. And then Nick Bell, he's one of those guys, I don't think you can go high against Nick Bell. I think you need to go low at his legs.
Those huge thighs, you just can't wrap him up. So the 18-yard run is negated. It's now 1st and 20 from the 40-yard line. Schrader, nobody there. Galt was the closest. And Schrader getting up slowly. He took a real shot that time when he released the ball. Just no place to go that time. He did get rid of it, but that's all he was able to do.
It was Greg Cragen who was actually in Schrader's face.
There's Cragen, the nose tackle. Many people feel he's one of the top 3 nose tackles in the NFL.
Well, you know what he does so well? He gets his hands on the center, and he gets rid of the center very quickly. A lot of people say he defensively holds and throws you away, but he gets rid of the center and makes plays.
He's out of there right now, getting a breather on a 2nd and 20. Bell and Gainer in the backfield. Bell, 5 yards, maybe 6, moving the pile forward. Mecklenburg back in the ball game after that injury to the leg, and Michael Brooks there to make the stop. Bell had a 71-yard touchdown.